Welcome to Intermediate Blending, a follow-up series to Beginning to Blend. I'm JoRaSe, your host for this series, just like the last. Now, let's delve in and begin. Hello and welcome to another session of Intermediate Blending with me, your host, JoRaSe. Today we're continuing on with the arm and hand animation using the Armature method. So let's not reinvent the wheel here, or arm as the case would be. We're just going to duplicate it and move it to a new layer. So select it, hit Shift and D to duplicate it, lock it down with the Enter key, press the M key on the keyboard, and we want to move it into layer 2. Now if we move into layer 2, our arm is selected, and we need to clear out the animations. To ensure that we have the animation tools we need, go to File, down to User Preferences. Want to go to the Add-ons tab at the top. Down on the left, choose Animation, and then make sure the Animation : Anim All is selected. With that selected, we can then find the Animation tab over here on the left. And what we want to do under the Anim All section is clear the animation. And it'll want to confirm. Go ahead and confirm. And while down here it doesn't look like anything's changed yet, if we move the animation, if we click anywhere in the animation timeline, we see the keyframes disappear, which is what we're wanting. Now, let's go into the side view, scale in a bit so we're not having problems on that end. Go to Create, down to Armature. It's found under the Other section. This gives us our initial bone. On the right, if we go all the way over to the one that looks like a little stick person, we click on that, and then come down to X-ray. This makes it easier to see the armature, even if it's on the other side of the mesh. And here I'll show you what I mean by that. You can see it's on that side. With the X-ray, we can see it all the way through. If we take X-ray off, we can't see it all the way through. It's a nice way to be able to verify that joints are where they're supposed to be. So with that, let's go ahead and move this first bone over. To right here. And tab into edit mode. Grab the top bone, and using the G key, move it into position at the elbow. Extrude it again all the way up to the wrist. And now we want another one, a smaller one, like so. This allows for tighter control of the wrist. Now we can extrude one from here out to the base of the thumb, and then up to the thumb joint, or the mid thumb joint, and then one to the tip. And we're going to do the same for each finger. And it may seem like it's a bit tedious doing it this way. There is another way we can do it, which is to take it all the way out to the tip of the finger, select the entire joint, or not joint, the entire bone, and subdivide it. We want there to be three bones, so we need 2 subdivision cuts, and that's just about where it needs to be. Just a trick to make it a bit easier when you're doing multiples of the same thing, which is what we're doing here. Always go in and check to make sure it's lining up like they're supposed to. These two look fine. This one, however, needs to come in a bit, and this up. Just make sure everything is where it needs to be. All right, that looks good to me. And we need to get it moved back into place. So we'll go into top view. Just slide it over to where it looks even, both sides. And there we go. Now let's not leave out the naming of all these joints. So we're going to go here to the Bone tab. This is going to be upper arm. So that's what we will call it. The upper arm. Then the lower arm. The wrist, the thumb -0, thumb -1, and thumb _2, and I realize I've been calling it dashes. It needs to be underscore. So this is going to be finger 1_0, finger underscore, and let's make this simpler as well. Select it all, copy it. So this is finger 1 underscore 1. So finger underscore 1 underscore 0. And now we just paste it in. 1 underscore 2. 1 underscore 3. 2 underscore 0. See why I did the finger underscore and not any of the numbers? Makes it easier when you're switching to a new finger, because you don't have to worry about it quite as badly. And sometimes, like right here, you can manage to save yourself at least one key press. Three underscore 0. 3 underscore 1. 3 underscore 2. 3 underscore 3. 4 underscore 0. 4 underscore 1. 4 underscore 2. 4 underscore 3. So there now all of the bones have been labeled. Now we need to assign the armature to the mesh. To do that, we first select the mesh and then shift and right click on the armature. And now we want to hit Control and P on the keyboard. So we'll set the parent to, and we want armature deform, and we want automatic weights. Now it doesn't look like it did anything, but if we go into pose mode and we select, say this one right here, and we rotate it on the x-axis, we can see it rotates the entire arm. We can do the same there. Lifts the entire arm up. And we can rotate this one as well. And rotate it on the Y. It's nice to be able to verify that things are working the way we expect them to before we start animating. Which, now wherever your green line is, that marks your current animation frame. We want to be in frame 1, so hit the Shift and the left arrow key on the keyboard. That will take it all the way to the far side. Frame 1. hit the A button to select all of the joints, or all of the armature bones, and hit the Alt and R key on the keyboard. And what that does is it clears the rotation for all the armature bones. Having the armature bones rotation cleared means we have a solid point to start our animation. So we're going to hit the I key because we want to go ahead and lock the location, rotation, and scale for all of these armature bones. We want to lock them all in place for frame 1. So just hit enter. Everything's locked in. Now let's move. We'll go to frame 50. And let's give this one a rotation on the X. We'll go up like so, and then this one we'll rotate it up as well. The wrist also. And let's also rotate the fingers in. So grab these 4 and rotate them in on the Y, like so. Now go ahead and grab the next set. And do the same thing on the Y. And the last set. And rotate these in on the Y as well. Now we can also grab these and rotate them in on the Y. Not very much, but it does help a little bit. Grab these again, rotate on the Y. Those 4 again, rotate them in just a little bit more on the Y. And now let's rotate the thumb around. So we'll rotate this on the Z. And then on the X. Go into the right correct view. And rotate this down. I rotated that the wrong way. Go ahead and get that back in proper alignment there. Rotate it on the Z. And this one out a bit on the Z. So there we go. This can rotate. There we go. I did not mean to hit the Z. So now we want to lock all of them in place again. So the I key, location, rotation, scale. Click or enter once it's in the blue. Now let's go to frame 100. Get a good vantage point here. And let's rotate this on the Z now. In. Grab this one, and then we're going to rotate it on the local Y, which is going to be hitting the Y key once and then twice. No, I meant rotate it on the X. Just going to straighten it back out a little bit. Grab the, oh no, rotate this again on the Z. Actually, no, not the Z, the X. Making sure it's the local X. The same thing here. And the same thing here. And now grab the thumb, rotate it on the local X, get it into a position we can actually see what we're doing. Rotate, rotate, and let's go ahead and set this as our next frame. And we'll punch it down to 100 frames total. And let's see how that looks. And to see it clearer, we can go back to the stick figure and uncheck X-ray. And so we got a guy or an arm bending up into a stretch and then coming back down into a thumbs up. That's all for this session of Polygonal Art with JoRaSe. If you enjoyed what you saw, how about giving this video a thumbs up? And don't forget to subscribe so you won't miss out on future videos from me. In the video description below, you'll find my Patreon link. Feel free to check it out. Now, on to the credits.